Yadairam, Yadaira, Yadairam, Yadairam, Om Yadairam, Yadaira, Yadaira, Ay, 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 oh, ya, 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 oh, Boker Tov, good morning. It is a pleasure to be with you this morning. Late, but here, so that's always good. We welcome the day with the allergies that are fall. Even though it is not a fall day, it's feeling quite like fall out there. The most beautiful type of weather, well, at least for me, but it also comes with the allergens that are. And so here we are today, Parshat Ekev, and it's one of those continuation parshiot, a continued story. So Moses is still giving his story about the journey through the wilderness. He's reflecting on the journey, preparing the Jews for their transition into a new life of responsibility in the Promised Land. And so he begins by saying, "It will be because you will heed the ordinances and keep them and perform. And God will keep you, or keep for you, the covenant and kindness that God swore to your ancestors." Basically, if you do this, you will get this cause and effect kind of feeling, right? It is, if you're obligated to do something, just do it so nothing else happens to you kind of feel. That's the vibe. The word used for heed, like heed the warning or heed the instruction, is the namesake of Akev, which also means heel. Which is interesting when you think about dog training. Not that I have a dog, I've had dogs in my life, but heel means to heed the warning. If you stay behind me or at my side, you will in turn embrace whatever comes our way. If you're walking ahead, then you're in the foreground. You're not healing. You're not waiting. You're not heeding what is coming your way. It is, hold on a second. Something might be ahead or something may not be ahead, but take a step back before acting. Rather, these are what I've told you. Just take a step back, absorb them, feel them, live them out so that you can move forward rather than going into a new area, a new land, a new possibility, a new promise with, as they say, guns a-blazing, and you have no idea what you're in for. So if you heed the ordinances, if you keep the promises that we've made for one another, then I too, as God was saying, then I too will keep my promise of kindness, of promised land, of all of the things that you were told, as well as your ancestors were told. If you do this, then I'll do this. Cause and effect. The verse shows that even those righteous deeds, which a person takes so lightly or for granted, like things of no value, or we don't think that they're valued, should also be kept. Even if it feels like it doesn't really apply, or who cares, it's not a big deal. That these commandments, these promises, these ordinances need to be kept. One should not weigh the commandments and say, it is as important. One should not say, the wording of this is strange. This is an important commandment, and I will fulfill it. I will do it. I will keep it. I will put it into action. And this is a small one. I'll ignore it. All are equal. We're on a level playing field. A commandment is a commandment, is a commandment. Just do as I say, and I will do as I said. This argues against who we are, which is an impulse. Some of us have impulsivity disorders that we just label ourselves. Of course, that is a real thing. And others of us a little bit less. But this idea of everything is important and there's no higher price tag on the ones that are harder or the ones that have more meaning to you or the ones that you want to work to fulfill. But everything is the same. But this is hard for us as humans. The very human impulse to develop a hierarchy of responsibility is the issue that we come across, or I think even the Israelites came across, because human condition says that we label things and we order things. We're always ordering. We're always prioritizing. And it's hard to see, if I can't see the value in something, then it's going to go by the wayside. But if I see the value in something, then it's going to become in my sight. And I'm going to make sure to keep that commandment. But the Midrash, the commentators, the stories, the reasoning behind sometimes warns us not to assign relative importance to the whole range of obligations that demand our attention and response. So where does that bring us in this moment? In this moment, it's something different. We are in the chaos, the uncertainty, the hopefulness of that which is the elections. We are in the thick of fighting for, demanding, working towards more social justice. And it feels really hard not to, as the Midrash says, it feels really hard not to place more value on any given topic, on any different commandment, on any different thing. Because the enormity of social justice work feels like an unsurmountable mountain that we shy away from climbing because, well, it's too much. And so we go against, some of us, the very teaching that says it's all important. Don't assign relative importance to the obligations that are. And so the desire to prioritize feels so familiar. There's a gap between the resources available and an individual or organization and the suffering of the world. So we create our own system in our own head and make impossible decisions about how to allocate our time, our resources, our money, our advocacy, all of these things, because we are putting all of these things in some sort of list. Of course, part of that is this triage kind of system, which just reminds me of hospitals and things. So triage means let me check you out and let me prioritize what this emergency department looks like or labor and delivery looks like. Let me see where you're at, and then we're going to see where you fit. We do this in social justice work. We do the same thing. Who's the hungriest? Who's the sickest? Who's lacking the educational opportunity? Who needs this most? And it's hard because we know as humans, we know as good humans, there's so much need. And it's hard to look at global justice as a whole when human lives are at stake. How do we place more importance on one rather than another? It feels like arrogance. How is that heeding the warning? Or are we in a healing pattern? We're just waiting. We're just going to wait here until somebody tells us what to do. There's an idea of a holistic system of halakha, which is the laws. And not a set of individual laws, rather that we organize mitzvot as doing. That we find this idea of complementary ways of working together to then enable the lives and infinite possibilities and potential for holiness and for meaning and for justice. We start small, but it all matters. It's not to say I like this more, so I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket. Rather, could we put one egg in each basket? That's hard. Responding to the interconnected problems requires a holistic approach. It has to be that way. Later on in this parsha, after Moses is giving his reminders again and again, he says, the importance of keeping the commandments is that you should faithfully observe all mitzvot that I enjoin upon you today, that you may thrive. An 18th century Italian commentator, Or HaChaim, explains, Moses used the word commandment in the mitzvah, in the singular form. You shall faithfully observe all the commandment that I enjoin upon you today, that you may thrive. Why does it not say mitzvot or commandments? Or HaChaim says, Moses admonishes the people and uses the singular mitzvah as if to say that your own relationship to all the rules in the Torah should be as if it was one single commandment. One single commandment that encapsulates all. Meaning not one is more than the other. Not all eggs in one basket, one egg in each basket so that all is equal. The relationship to all of the rules in the Torah should be as if it was a single commandment. These are all encompassing. One in each basket. This serves as a lesson for the world and life that we're living right now. In pursuit of global justice, in pursuit of peace within our borders and beyond, in a place where individual issues can find solutions, that individual issues find their way interlocked into systems of justice, of acceptance, of possibility, of potential. Through this approach, let us merit Moses' blessing, that we and all humanity will thrive. It's good to be with you, Anne and Eileen, Paula and Bet, Sean, Vic, Amy, Linda. For all of us, let us merit a place where we can all thrive, just as Moses had shared and commanded through God's vision. We are one human family, one heart of abundant love. We love you, and we look forward to seeing you, guess when? Tomorrow morning at 9:30. Have a great day, everybody. The itchiness of the throat means we're having a beautiful day outside. Go outside, get some air. It's gorgeous here in the New York area. Have a great day, everyone. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael Chai. 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 Od Avinu Chai.